In this question, we're given a graph and we are to identify the vertical and horizontal intercepts of the graph. And then we are to use the dot tool to mark these points on the graph. So for example, the vertical intercept is the point where the graph crosses the vertical axis, usually called the y-axis. That would be this point here. To put a dot there, I need to use the dot tool by clicking the word dot down here. Put a dot on the vertical intercept. Then I need to write the coordinates of the vertical intercept in the box provided over here. My vertical intercept would have coordinates such that x is 0 and the output is 4. Because to plot the dot, you would go 0 units in the x direction and 4 units in the y direction. The horizontal intercept is where the graph crosses the horizontal axis, which is usually called the x-axis. So I will put a dot here. To write the coordinates of that point, I'll type left parenthesis. The x value of the point would be such that you need to move 5, 6, 7, 8 units to the left on the x-axis. That would be -8, comma, and then you would move 0 units in the y direction because the point is on the x-axis. So I will type 0, right parenthesis. So far I've done the first two set of directions. I've identified the 2 points. I used the dot tool to mark the points in the graph. I wrote the intercepts as ordered pairs on the left. Don't forget step 3 where I identify where the graph is decreasing. This simply means to trace along the graph where you see the graph going down, and the rule is that we're looking left to right. So for example, as I trace from left to right, my graph is increasing, so I'm not going to shade that part of the graph. The question says to identify where the graph is decreasing, so let me click line segment. I'll click here where the graph starts to decrease. It decreases all the way to here, and then I'll stop because this is the point where it stops decreasing and starts to increase again. But if you look, there's a second place where the graph decreases. It starts decreasing from here, so I select that point. If you're using a mouse, I'm holding the mouse button down, scrolling over till I get to the end of the area where the graph is decreasing, and I'm letting go of my mouse. Let me submit my answer. And notice now that I've submitted my answer that all parts of the problem show green check marks, indicating that I received full credit for this question.